Awesome. Well, this is going to be a bit of a different episode, but we've been talking about it for a few weeks now, and we just kind of want to talk through who we are, how we got started, what we're doing, where we're going. For those of you listening, new listeners, we're trying to expand. But Mo, do you want to kind of start what direction you want to go in?
I think you know, as with any type of thing like this, you have people that were there from the very beginning, and then you have people who pop in and they're like, "Hey, so who are you and what qualifies you to be the ones talking to us?" So I think that's one of the things I wanted to share, and then I think it's super important for people to know all the other things that we're doing that are big now and are going to be things that we are look because a lot of what we're doing is trying to help people. And I think that
Mhm.
those are things that we want to have people come along and help us along with by knowing what it is where we're going and what our drive is about. So
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons when we talked about it, I was like, yeah, I think it's important for people to know that we are, we have a podcast, we have a book that's written, we have merchandise, and this is where all of these things that we're trying to grow, this is what we're looking to grow them to and why. Because the purpose behind it to me is, I always say you got to know your why. And our
Yeah.
purpose, I think, is a pretty big deal.
All right. You want to start from, I guess I'll start from the beginning then. So well, I'll bring it all the way back. I started a podcast
Yes.
October of last year with the idea being that the concept was going to be I was going to tell stories and go over cases and stuff for my children to
How'd that
basically
first one
capture the
go?
moments. Yeah, they capture the moments why dad was gone all the time.
Yeah.
Was the thought. That's where I started in my brain. And it was audio only, and the audio was terrible, and I hated it. I could not do it. I am not somebody tip of the cap to anybody who can just talk into a mic by themselves and just riff for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. God bless you. It's not
Yeah.
me. I hated it, and I felt like it came off terribly for me. I
Sidebar, it
didn't
did
enjoy. How
not.
about this? I didn't enjoy the process. How about that?
That's probably a better take on it.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it didn't feel right. So made some calls and I interviewed friends of mine and then Mo and again, audio only, again, scratchy. It was all those things, right? But
I was
I
holding a
think,
cell phone recording.
yeah. Yeah, my first one was on my phone just with earbuds in. But I was like, I really enjoyed talking to my friends and my family. Like even my brother, I learned so much stuff that I didn't realize he had either gone through or his experiences. I was like, damn, bro, I did not know that about you, and you're my fucking my brother. So I truly enjoyed doing that. So I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to talk to other people, and I obviously I am who I am. I interweave my own stories and little insights, or somebody will say something that brings up a memory, a buried memory from somewhere. But we did that for maybe after the first one. You were like, "Yo, I like this shit. I want to do it." And I think we're on to something. I said, "Fuck yeah, Mo, let's go."
Well, it was funny because when you asked me to interview me, I was like, oh gosh, okay, never done it, but sounds
Yeah,
interesting enough.
yeah.
And I did have a really good time. But I remember when you were like, Mo, would you like to co-host? I was like, that's a lot. I don't know. In my head, I was like, I've always been one that could talk to people. I've always been one
Mhm,
who can read people. I felt that was why when I was a deputy, I was really into wanting to be a negotiator and wanting to
mhm,
do things to deal with people in crisis. But then, and one of the other things I found a serious love for was teaching. And at the time when you reached out to me, I was coming off of the heels of where I was regularly teaching to not knowing like if I was gonna kind of stay down that path. And I remember when you said it, I was like, and I talked it over with my husband and with some of my family, and they were like, Monique, you love teaching. This is just a different platform you're teaching on if you guys
mhm,
take this off. And that was the premise that I came into it with. What I will tell
mhm,
you is that that has been a huge part of it that I am thoroughly enjoying. But the other part I would say that was unexpected for me is I think it's become a bit therapeutic for me. And because I know you, I know for you as well. I know that there have been, things, and I see it when it hits you in your feels and it makes you start thinking. And there have been things that I have listened to people say and I thought, oh wow, that's something I never considered. Or the sidebar conversations where we've had about rearing children or how we do things, it's
Yeah.
been very therapeutic and a learning experience for me that was very unexpected. I went into it with the idea that I was going to have an opportunity to reach out and teach and about
Yeah.
various things. We were going to talk about different things that I was going to be teaching my perspective. Some of it was just my opinion. Some of it would be actually based in fact because of my experiences over the years. But it's turned into a lot more of that and grown so that it's, I wouldn't say it's where we want it completely to be, but where it is today, I would say.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing, right? So again, I think we did 20 or 30 episodes just audio only,
Hmm.
and people are like, "Dude, that's." And again, I get feedback from external feedback. Oh, you got to do clips, you got to do video, you got. I'm like, dude, do you understand how much fucking work this is? Editing and all this stuff like that, and also you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
Hey, go start a podcast, bro. The equipment, the software. I'm now to the point where I'm learning about algorithms and descriptions and hashtag and all this. This is not my world. And I
Yes,
didn't even have social media when I started because it wasn't my thing.
me neither.
I've referenced this on several episodes. My kids still make fun of me that I post like a dad. I'm working on it. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I want to throw this in there. I just learned like 2 months ago, maybe, that I could change the formatting of the clips to match the individual sites that you're loading. I didn't even know because I didn't know what
I
I didn't
love it.
know.
Love it.
Yeah, so it'd be like, bro, you can't see anybody, or we're only seeing half ahead. I was like, I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, there's a huge learning curve, but I would say February, March is when we were like, all right, let's try video. Well, then you do that, and then it's the whole thing about the connection
Another
and the
thing that
quality.
scared the bejesus out of me, by the way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I told you that.
No, you did, yeah. No, you're like, I don't know. I was like, Mo, we just gotta do it.
I was like, and now I'm thinking like, well, now I got to have a studio and I got to worry about how my hair looks. And then I realized I started going back because I watch podcasts and I'm like, these people are just people.
Yeah,
They're just getting on there and talking to people. And
yeah.
I was like, all right. And now I'm settled in on the video. It's fine.
It is what it is. Well, and you know what? Got to give kudos, shout out BJ. Well, so in the process of doing Street Tales, BJ was like, dude, because he loves Street Tales, he likes doing it, but his schedule's all over the place, and so we
Yeah.
started 56 in at the same time, which is again, it's a lot. You start realizing how much is on your plate when you start doing these things.
Yeah.
But 56 and is a very different platform. It's very different. We just riff off stuff. It's basically our weekly catch up that we do anyway on the phone, but now we just do it on
Right.
record it on a laptop. And he's the one. uh, he's the one that was like, dude, you got to do clips, and he's pushing all this stuff. He also makes fun of my social media posts, but they are getting better.
He thinks they're dad posts.
He's like, bro, you got to do this. You got to you filter this. Anyway, he does all that. He's a social media guy. Yeah, I know. It makes me laugh. But through doing that, it's like then it starts to become real. It's like, oh, okay, this is actually working. I will also say, and I was advised by a couple of people, you're doing too many things at one time. You need to focus on one. But it's just not how I am. So also in that time frame, because also keep in mind, we both still work during the day.
Yes.
That's number one. So
Yeah.
when I'm not working and we're not recording and I'm not editing and I'm not publishing and I'm not doing those things, I'm also either reading or watching clips on how to do things to make it better. Because it becomes one of those things where you get passionate about it
Yeah.
and you want to create a good product because you don't want
Hmm.
someone not to watch a great story or an amazing, insightful human being talk to you because of a production problem. So that's where that passion focus starts to come in. But during that time, I also decided to get my knee replaced and
Yep.
write a book
And write a book.
and write a book.
And
Yeah. And still podcast and still learn and still do all those things. And so then it's like people who are in this space all the time. They're like, yeah, of course, bro. Like this is just what their world. But I'm like, dude, I'm learning as I'm doing.
yeah.
But so write the book, and I'm so happy about it, and we're recording, and things are becoming real. And keep in mind, we still had contact us at this Gmail address. So it's
Very
like,
true.
well, if we're gonna do this, let's do a website.
Well,
So writing a
let's not
book,
glaze
publishing a
over.
book, yeah.
Let's not glaze over the book writing process
All right,
because Tyler comes to me and says, Mo, I think what I'm going to do is take our podcast and turn it into a book. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he explains that he wants to create a book that takes the stories that we are getting from people, puts them into a book format where
yeah,
he essentially explains why he makes contact with these people, why he thinks their story is important, shares a
Yeah.
little bit about his viewpoint of this individual, and then shares the podcast with this, to me, amazing, unique, innovative idea of putting the QR code in the book so that you can scan the QR code from the book and be able to go back to the original podcast that we recorded. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, that's an amazing idea. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. But in my head, I'm thinking, if you're going to write a whole book, and I'm not saying it's not the thickest book in the world, but it's a whole book. If
Hmm.
you're going to write a whole book, I'm thinking we'll get it out in the next year, year and a half. He tells me in February, the book is completed and bound, printed for sale in September.
Yeah.
So he says, oh, I wrote a book and got my knee replaced. He wrote a book from idea to completion from
Yeah.
February to September while also getting his knee replaced.
Yes.
So, and to me, like I said, not writing a book off of something that's been done before, writing a book off of something that is a completely innovative idea, trying to figure out how to take stories, because storytelling is very, very vastly different than putting it into book format. The way we speak to each other it carries a lot of nuances that we don't necessarily get in the written format. So you have to go in and make sure that those things are being corrected, for lack of better terms. Then writing his own portions of the book to explain these are the people and this is my view, like the way my perspective of this individual. So you're having to create on your own from nothing, that part of it. And then finding a publisher, making sure that you're reading the manuscripts that they send to you before it gets bound and published, and finding people to endorse your book and write endorsements for your book. There's a lot of steps in here that he's glazing over when he says, I wrote a book.
Well, it was with a lot of
And
help, to your point,
it
but yes, it
was.
was a lot of fucking work. I'm not gonna lie about that.
It was, and I will say, when he says, some people say I need to slow down and not do too many things, I'm probably one of the people that says, all right, take a breath,
Yeah.
because he has these phenomenal ideas and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, let's breathe and figure out, because like you said, we're figuring this out as we're doing it. And I think
Mhm.
where we have come, like you said, from the audio recording on our cell phones to where we are today is such like, I look back and I'm like astonished that we've covered this much distance in that amount of time. So
I will
it's the
also say,
balance.
yeah, the balance. But I remember releasing the first couple episodes and being like, "Oh my god, 10 people listen. That's amazing." And listen, I'm still shocked, but I think it resonates. We've also had to adjust, and because I
Yeah.
didn't want it to just be a cop show, and I didn't
No.
quite know how to formulate that. Like you said, ideas, but how do you flush them out? And I didn't want to just interview. I didn't want it to just be bash law enforcement. I didn't want it to just be, all the negative stuff. I didn't want that, and I hopefully it doesn't come off as that. And I think we're getting to the point where it's like I want to have open and honest conversations with not just cops, but we've now military. We've kind of branched out firefighters. We're bringing in dispatchers, mental health professionals, entrepreneurs, leaders, all these things that I think are important.
Yep.
And we're kind of getting to a point where, from just looking over the last year of doing this, there's a lot of like people that talk about it's not all, and also it's not all dark and gloomy and sad and depressing.
No.
A lot of them are sometimes, but it's also about how
Sometimes.
to overcome that, hitting your rock bottom, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Rehabilitation, redemption, resilience, all these things, grace, mercy, all these things kind of come into play for yourself. The point I'm trying to make, because no one's your worst enemy is yourself, man, and your own brain.
Hmm.
And learning how to overcome that. And that's the other thing I've learned is like there's so many different ways people have done that, either through medication, through therapy, or just through fucking grit, will, and determination on their own, which is nuts to me. But I'm just want to capture these moments, and I want to push them out. And I think they're important, especially in this day and age where we are now, which we talk about often. There's such a disconnect between the community and law enforcement and even the military now. It's like, dude, these are human beings. You know what I mean? Like it's you can get demonized. People can just see the uniform that you're wearing and not the human being that's in it. And also vice versa, though.
Yeah,
Cops can
for
start to
sure.
do that. People they see, they're like, they're not all shitbags.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of our show, that, like you were saying, I didn't want it to all be bashing law enforcement, but I don't think we've also set the stage that law enforcement, everything we do is right. We have just
Oh,
talked to people and got real life stories, real life interactions. And I think one of the things is that we have worked really hard to show not just the doom and gloom, but the redemption piece, and to
yeah.
focus on the life after. And that gives people hope. And I really, truly think that that's been part of what we have done a lot of. We have really good content. We have been able to, which, it blows me away sometimes, is the guest that this little show is pulling in. We're getting some really interesting people. I mean, we've gotten people who have been victims of crimes to be very candid and tell us all about the ins and outs of it. We've had people
Mhm.
who are cops, on a call to be able to tell us not just the investigative side, but the emotional piece that we don't talk about a lot as cops.
Yeah.
Firefighters that have been coming on and talked about, very openly the PTSD they may have experienced, but that they're still thriving. Military guys coming on and talking about, things that are important and not just their military lives, but also like this is what happened, when I didn't take care of myself mentally. This is what happened, but this is where I'm at today. So I think that we have gotten some really, that's the part that blows me away. You know how you said, oh, 17 people are listening. I very rarely, and I will say, and you're gonna get mad at me, but I don't look at how many people we have listening a lot of times. I
Mhm.
just look at the people who we're talking to, and it blows my mind that like they wanted to talk to us. And to me, that says a lot.
No, for sure. And I will say this, to the I'm getting over it, but, Dr. P talks about it, but I've also had some we've had extremely successful in the sense of their career, I don't know how to phrase it. They're very successful in their own life,
Mhm.
let's just phrase it that way.
Right.
And is one of the big things is like, I don't money is not what motivates me to do this,
Mhm.
but talking to, and we're gonna have them on as a guest, a couple people,
Mhm.
they're like, "Look, there's only 3 things that are important. Your family," and when we say job, it's like, "What is your job?" And it's like, "Hey, my job is," passionate about your job. There's people who are like victim mitigation specialists, law enforcement, whatever it is, but your job should be important to you. And he goes, "And you need money to support that." He goes, "If your job doesn't provide money so you can provide for your family, then you can't do it anymore."
Right.
And Dr. P was like, "Look, you need money to be able to create a quality product so that you can put it out to more people who will actually listen to it." So anyway,
Mhm.
so I'm getting over that part, which is why I guess I'm more into the business side of it now.
Mhm.
I laugh with you, I joke with you and BJ, but I'm like, the recording part, that's the game. That's fun. Everybody wants to do that.
Right.
I was like, the other shit is what sucks. The
Yeah.
editing, the clipping, the pushing, the promoting, and also all these platforms are pay to play. So anyway, there's all these little things that you start learning in the podcast game,
Yeah. Yeah. You do.
or the space, I should say.
But I think, like, it's important people to know that, like, that's what's going on behind the scenes for us to get
Yeah.
this information out that we think
Yeah.
is important, and almost every episode, I know that me and you discuss offline, that the important thing is that there might be one person that needs to hear it. There
Yeah.
might be one person that needed to hear that show that saves them or pushes them or motivates them or whatever it may be, whether it's when we've talked to Dr. P or when we've talked to Dr. Rahul or when we've talked to that, the military personnel that we've talked to that says, this is the
Yeah.
road I went down, or the law enforcement officer that says, like we've had, thankfully, like Meg Ross has come on several times and talked to us about the Hope
Awesome.
Line and those kind of things. So I just think that it's not about the money, but at the same time it is, because like you said, if we can take our passion and then take care of our families with it, that's obviously a big deal. But it is about also getting these stories out for that one person who needs to hear them. And I
Yeah.
think that part of it is that people, if you look at the evolution, we have really gotten some really good content out for people to be
Yeah.
able to ingest and to use in their life.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that you and I talk about a lot, and I think we've done very good so far. Hopefully, we maintain. We both feel. I feel very. I'll speak for myself. I'm very confident in my ability to read people. I do my best. So far, I haven't gotten burned, but I'd never want to have somebody on as a guest just for clicks or
No.
clout or whatever. Look, they have a huge following. We should have them on. No, but unless they have an amazing story, right? I mean, it
Right.
just depends. Like if it fits the show, I'm never just going to be like, oh, hey, this guy has a lot of followers. We should have him on to talk about whatever. No, that's not. I
Right.
don't want to do that. Also, with that being said, I don't know how much of this you get, Mo. I get a lot in my LinkedIn and emails and all this other stuff. I get a lot of people reaching out saying, hey, love your show, would love to be on it. And they send this long thing and you read through and it's basically they want to advertise their injury law firm. I'm like, no, get
No.
out of it, bro. I'm not doing that shit. But not to say that I wouldn't want to talk to lawyers. It's just like, what's
Absolutely.
the intent behind it, I guess.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I
Matter of
think
fact, that's
that's
one thing
what
we still need to get on, Mo. We haven't had any
we haven't
lawyers.
had an attorney. We do need to
No.
get an attorney on
I've
here. I don't
tried, and
care if
all
it
the ones I know that are, like, not interested.
Yeah, I would
They
love
don't
to
wanna
have a
talk on a
defense
podcast.
attorney or a state attorney for that matter, either one,
I
like
don't
a
give a
district
shit, any
attorney.
I'd love to have a
Yeah,
judge, like a retired one,
that'd be great.
just to
That
let it
would be
rip,
good.
baby.
Yeah,
Anyway,
because
I
I mean,
digress.
I like you said, the storytelling, and that's what
Yeah,
everybody we've said before, everybody has a street tale. Everybody has
yeah,
something that has affected them, and they've come out better on the other side, or they've persevered through something, and those are the stories that I love, and I think that you are right that we do have a good sense of people, and I think that's why we have been able to get some pretty decent people on our show and
yeah,
get people who are just to me, I think why I enjoy it, I am a consummate learner and a lover of hearing people's stories.
yeah.
So when I listen to people's stories and I can learn, to me, it is very, very an enjoyable experience for me. I will definitely say, even if the stories aren't the things that are warm and fuzzy, I'm
Yeah.
still enjoying getting to know this person through their story.
No, for sure. But to that end, to again for street tales, because we've even talked about the name street tales, like but it amazes me. I mean, we talked to deputy director of the French National Police, Mark Efron, is top of his fucking game. He's
Yeah.
crushing it. Then you talk to him and they talk about their upbringing or whatever. They were in the fucking streets,
Right.
like legit in
Right.
the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, it just always seems to connect.
It fits. And we have some really, like, again, guests that are just, they have amazing stories upcoming that we have. And the background on that, too, is that we do a lot of work on talking to these people,
Yeah,
researching their stories before we just, and I think that's part of the reading the people. We get to kind of do as much research as we can before we bring them on to share their
yeah.
story. And, we don't, we do our due diligence. That's the word I was looking for.
We do our best. Like
Yeah.
I said, so far so good,
So far, so
in
good.
my opinion. And we're actually expanding beyond just people we know, which also
I
makes me happy.
know. That does make me happy. That
Yeah, it
does.
makes me very happy.
I will tell you, I like, obviously, it's super interesting to interview people that we've known because you learn about them. We've brought a bunch of our
Yeah,
friends and things but now we're starting to bring in people that are just people that are people that we've connected with through various ways. And it's so
yeah,
interesting to the fact that it's interesting they want to talk to us. And it's super interesting that they have the stories that they have, you know, it's,
yeah, and
I
they're
think
still
it's going to
functioning and
lend.
walking around in the world.
Yes, I think it's gonna lend to us being able to do a Street Tales Volume 2, 3, a series without an issue.
Well, to that end, the goal next year, I made a promise, Sergeant Major Dave Devaney, and with very few circumstances have I ever not been a man of my word, but I promised that man, he gave me his life's work, and I'm going to curate it into a book. It is a
Awesome.
lot. He was 30 years in the Marines. I mean, he has a vast wealth of, it's going to be that might be a two-parter as well, because it's so much information in there.
Yeah,
I'm actually started working on it now,
awesome.
just getting it all kind of together, but that'll be the second book that we were actually laughing about this. Our book, because yes, I understand I wrote it, but none of this happens without you, BJ, Adam. I mean, we're a
Yeah.
team.
Yeah,
It is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
we all have our different skill sets. I'm very excited about that book, but I am also, while I feel like Doc Simpson, where I was like, he's finishing up his first trilogy and he's already got 3 more in his brain, which I finished his book today, by the way. It's actually phenomenal. Yeah,
Really?
I called him. I emailed him after our last episode with him, because he
Mhm.
was like, "Hey, what'd you think? Where are you at the book?" But I was flustered, and I gave him a bullshit answer, and I felt bad, but I wasn't in my mind because the chord or whatever. I don't know if you remember that. I was like fucking
Yes, I do
around,
remember. I do.
and I was like, I said, I really am reading. So I emailed him and I sent him a picture. I said, I really am reading the book. I wasn't just giving you a line of shit. I was just flustered in the moment, and I did not respond well. He just said, "Okay, whatever." But no, it
That's
was actually,
hilarious.
no. I'm a fiction nerd. I've already bought a second one. I'm waiting on it.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but I feel like that where he's like finishing up his first trilogy. He's already got like 3 more. I would love to be able to write a fiction book. I just don't have the capacity. But
We
I'm
get
like,
we get
I'm working on Sergeant Major Dave Devaney's, and I'm already thinking about the structure for the Street Tales Volume 2.
Yeah.
Let's touch on it. I know we're bouncing around. My ADHD,
Yes,
it is what it is.
I
But
know.
Street Tales did do well. It hit number 1 in top 5 in like 4 different subcategories. And let me
Mhm.
just explain for people who don't know. Amazon has like 1,000,000 books a fucking month. I don't even know. So when I say number 1, I don't mean in all of Amazon. That was not a
No,
thing. And a matter of
no.
fact, I didn't even know I made number 1 or top 5, but Doug White was like, "Hey, congrats, man. That's huge." I was like, "How did you even know that?"
Yeah.
He's like, "You gotta go
Let
here."
me
I was like,
just
"Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even."
Yeah. You're like, "I didn't know."
So I went and I screenshotted it. Listen, it immediately fell off the map, but whatever. We hit it for
Doesn't
a little
matter.
bit.
Yeah.
We hit it, so I was happy about it. He goes, "No, dude,
Here's what I'm
that's
happy
really good."
about, though. You took something that had never been done before, and
Yeah,
we have curated it into a something.
yeah,
And with everything, it's going to take some time, but I still stand by the fact that this is such a unique idea to have a book that is based off of a podcast that links people back to be able to read the story. Because some people like that, to be able to like hold that story in their hands and then be
yeah,
able to go back to listen to that person. Like, to me, that's what an honor. As somebody who you did put in volume 1, I can say I was very
yeah.
honored that my story was plucked out and put in there from and into this just absolutely unique piece of work. So,
That comes from my nerdery, because when I read books, and I still read a lot of books, people who read a lot of books, they do it anyway, especially fiction books. You create the voices in your head because they have to match the characters.
got it.
And that was my thought. And Lil Barkowski, who we've had on it, love her to death.
Yes. She was
I told
awesome.
her whether she knows it or not, she's part of the team, part of the family.
Yes.
And super supportive of everything she's doing. But I was like, I wish there was a way because I would love them to hear their voices. And she goes, "Yeah, just put a QR code to the links." Like real simple. Just I was like,
Yeah.
that's such a great idea. And then also, I'm like, sweet. Does that mean I still have to do a Audible one? Because I was like, that's a lot of work too. She's like, I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll touch on that when it comes up. I was like, that's so because you can hear their voice and
Yeah.
read their story.
That's
I will say,
huge, man.
when you read somebody's, this is the hardest thing because I've had not feedback, but once people understand what I was trying to do, which it's not always a good thing that you have to explain the book and the concept, but I did my best. People are like, people don't want to read a conversation. I said, well, the whole book is not that, but I understand.
Right.
But when you read what somebody's saying, it hits your brain different. Like you're
Yeah.
consuming that information differently and you can stop. Also, a lot of times when you're talking, you might zone out for a little bit.
Mhm.
Like when you're listening to a podcast, you might zone out,
Yeah.
come back. When you're reading it, you're consuming it. And let me tell you something. That was the most. It took me months to edit down. Let's pick on Adam for a minute. When he goes like. It's like, buddy, I had to like edit, bro. The editing was off the rails.
We love you, Adam. We absolutely do.
Love him to death. Love him to death.
But
And
he does. I've told him, I'm going to murder you if you say that again.
well, his brain is going 115 miles an hour, but his mouth can only talk it so fast.
Right.
That man, he
That's
doesn't. I don't think
hilarious.
he does drink coffee, but he doesn't like that's he drinks
That's
coffee
it.
and works out. Like that's it.
That's it. That's too
Dude's off the
funny.
chain. Off the chain.
I will say,
So
to
yeah.
piggyback on that too, though, the other thing that you have kind of glossed over, this was an idea that you had and you started doing on your own. And now fast forward roughly 6 months, like you said, of really getting into it, you've built out a team of people. So it's
Yeah.
not just you. It's now me, you, BJ, Adam, and all 4 of us bring in talent. You and BJ now have a spinoff show.
Mhm.
Teaser, I'm gonna have a spinoff show as well. And it's one of those things that, like, if you looked back on the first day that you held your phone and you were recording, did you know it would be here?
No. Matter of fact, I didn't think anybody would listen and anybody would care. And I was just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna do this so that if and when I die, my kids can at least hear my voice and still can. It's so funny. I've talked about this a bunch of times. It still hits me, but I just want them to
Of
be able
course.
to hear me.
Yeah. Because your whole basis was you heard your grandfather's voice and you thought,
Oh
I
yeah,
want to
I did
leave this
gloss
for
over
my
that. Yeah.
kids. Yeah. And it's like now you're leaving so much more of a legacy for your kids. They're
Yeah.
going to see you built something, and that's a big deal, to see where you started this and built it to where we are right now.
Yeah. I will say it does touch me still, and I still get
Yeah.
teary-eyed. Most people are like, yeah, they're your kids. Of course they listen. Anybody who has teenagers, that is not fucking true.
That's not true.
No, but they will, and they'll comment. They'll leave comments either on the post or they'll call me and be like, what? Hey, how do you even fucking know that guy or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And my son is the best because sometimes I'll talk about him on the show and he'll be like, love the episode, caught a stray there in the middle or at the end. I'll say something. I'm
Yes,
like,
you
I wasn't
did.
being derogatory. I was like, but yeah, you got one. And
You got
I'll
one.
write back. I was like, love you, boy. But anyway, but my kids, they listen to it
Yeah.
and they comment.
Yeah.
Again, it's another way that we talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it'll be like, I didn't know you went through that. I was like, I know you were little.
You were little
Anyway,
and you
so
didn't.
yeah, so
But they
it's
will.
still happening. Even though it's not in the original thought I had, it still comes across. I think.
I think it definitely does, and I think now we took something that was something that you wanted to do, and when you asked me about, I thought, "Oh, that would be something nice for my kid to have the ability to hear as well."
Yeah.
And now it's turned into, like I said, this thing where we have great content, we're having great guests, we're getting people that we probably never thought our little show would start, would pull in, and the important thing is I'm still enjoying it, and I'm pretty confident that you are as well, and I think
Yeah, I
it
love
comes
this
across
part.
to our audience. Yes,
Yeah, I love this
not the
part.
yes, we're
We are rapidly approaching a time where I can pay somebody else to do the editing and the posting and because it is
and
not
that's where
my wheelhouse.
it'll be all fun then again.
Then it'll be all fun. I'll be like, hey, boom, here's the recording. Do it,
Have fun.
and we're good. Let it
Do
rip.
some things with it.
Yeah, do whatever it is. Well, let me
I
say
love
this.
it.
See, Mo, we could talk about this for a while. Because the other thing for people who either have podcasts or are thinking about it or just enjoy listening to it, the amount of fucking scammers. Because once you have a video and you're learning like I am, you're like,
Mm,
I want to get better.
right.
I want to be better. I want to make a good product. I'm serious about this. It's not just the time, it's money. And I get inundated with people saying, "Hey, love to help you. We do this." The production or marketing or editing companies that are all over, they hammer me relentlessly. And then every now and again, I'll read them because I am still
Yeah.
interested. And sometimes I'll just read what they write and be like, "Oh, okay," and delete. And then I'll look it up on my own or something.
Mhm.
And then you talk to them and it's super convincing. And then they're like, "So yeah, I need 10 grand right now while we're on this car." I was like, "What? No, what?
No, thank
No
you.
contract? Get out of here. I'm not, no, get out of here." So
We'd like for you to Venmo that to us. Absolutely
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Send that to me in Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah. Hell
No, I'm
no.
good. I'm good.
So it's like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's actually take a little step back because I feel,
Yes.
and correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, I have felt like you, but BJ and Adam believed in the show. You loved it. But then we took our little trip to LA and
Yes.
our professional recording studio.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it was like, well, this is for real. We
For
we
real.
can do this.
Yes.
That's what it felt like. Cause I think BJ came back home and the next day he had a full soundboard, mic'd up, camera, like he was like, "Poop, poop, poop, poop."
Up until then,
Not
he
to
was
say he didn't take
like
it serious then, but he understood like, oh, this is
right.
legit.
Yeah. Well, I think it gave people perspective of before when we're sitting in our home
Yeah.
studios and we're recording, it's like, oh, okay, this is potentially something we're just doing for fun. But I think when we did our trip to LA, for me, I had already kind of thought like I'm a person that believes in prayer and I had prayed about it and I had said, if this is where I'm supposed to be, because you know my plight, I was looking for work, hadn't found anything, and I said, this is where I'm supposed to be, then things will continue to happen that make it
Yeah.
work. And so they were. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I'm invested in this because this is stepping out, sidebar, way out of my comfort zone. I
Yeah.
am, let me get a job that's going to pay me every 2 weeks that I can, you know, make sure that like have a pension, have a retirement, have
Yeah.
health insurance. This is not any of those things. And I thought, when we started it, I was like, all right, God, this is real uncomfortable. I've been looking for work and this is where Tyler, you pushing me to be like, come on, Mo, I know it's just one of these things that I think we could do really well. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, God talks to us in different ways. So I'm listening, God, and I'm gonna walk this path until the door's closed. And it just never has. It's never closed. It's still
No.
things are just, okay, well, this door's being open and now this is working. And now, well, we got this going on. And so for me, my eyes were already open. But LA, I think, it was like a big hurdle, in my opinion, to go, wow, not only can we record in our little home studios, but we have someone who's willing to back us with studio time and say, because I believe in what you guys are doing. It's
Yeah.
like we say, somebody believed in us. It was for me that it wasn't that I definitely believed before and I was putting my investment in, but that where I could, we'll put it that way. And that was the thing that just kind of just to me just reinvigorated, like this is still going. Like the doors are still being open. So you got to keep following the path that I'm laying out in front of you, Monique.
Yeah. And in this case, it was a giant Viking white dude saying, "Let's go."
That's exactly what I'm like, "God, this is what you said to talk to me?
This is what we
This
this
big
is where we
Viking?
at. All right, I
Okay,
guess.
alright, I guess so."
Yeah, I know. I remember Adam going, "Why can't we record like this?" And shout out Nick, love that guy. of
Love it.
Village Studios. He's a, I don't want to limit him in any way, producer,
Wasn't he a
editor.
producer?
I don't want to limit
Yeah,
him in any way.
I
Dude's a
know, he was
baller.
amazing.
He goes, yeah, this is for one, it was one of their smaller studios. He goes, yeah, this is
Correct.
about 1.5 million.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we got some work to do before we get
We
that,
got
buddy.
we
Like
got a
we,
little
you know,
time before we can get there, partner.
yeah, yeah,
Calm down,
yeah.
playboy.
Yeah. We getting there though. But see, but I think it makes it real. Like this is a real thing.
Yeah, yeah,
We also met, and this is ties into the next part. Jason Palomara and his awesome wife. And it's almost we met Jason and Veronica Palomara, not Jason's wife, right? Because like
right.
she is her own
Yeah,
ball of energy, and I love
yes,
that. I love that.
yeah,
That's how it is.
yeah, and
And
her
not
name is
only
not
did we,
Veronica, it is Vanessa. No,
no,
it's not
what?
Vanessa, it's Veronica.
Yeah, there you go. Almost had me messed up.
I did almost mess you up again.
Yeah, I know you did. But we met. So I met Jason through Lil with the book
Yeah,
stuff because I was like,
yeah,
you write the book and it's super exciting, and it's like, yay, shit! Now I got to sell this thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And to your point, we're both law enforcement, so
mhm,
we're used to getting paid, pension, all that. This is a spend a lot of money and maybe. It's all a maybe,
yeah,
right? Who knows?
yeah,
The odds of being super successful are very rare. It's rare air. We're working towards it. But
we
anyway,
are.
but we met Jason and his wife Veronica, and not only did we get his story, we eventually got Veronica's story.
We
We
did get
we pulled
Veronica's
it out,
story.
and dude,
It
so
was
good.
great.
I don't know what, she's a phenomenal speaker. Anywho, and just through that meeting, and meeting them and recording, we were able to start an apparel line. This is where
Yes.
we're moving it all around. But I'm like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it, I want to do it right. And
right.
of course, it's the one episode where I'm not wearing it. It's in the wash because I've been wearing them. So yeah, apologies. But
Yeah,
we had Street Tales Network apparel, and this is the other thing. So you're like, all right, hey, it's a great idea. But Jason is a businessman. He's a professional. He's like, okay, I need a logo. No,
right,
that logo won't work because that's not how it doesn't print right on material, whatever. So then that process begins. And
right,
then you come up with this, and then your color schemes. Well, what color is this? Well, what's the border? Oh my God, I didn't think. I was like, I didn't think through all these things, right? This is
right,
where I just kind of go, and I'm like, let's just let it rip. But we've now have Street Tales apparel, and this is again maybe bad business. I don't know, but I'm like, I just don't want. I hate stuff that just feels like a money grab all the fucking time. I don't like it.
right,
We need money to make it successful, 100%. And listen, please buy Street Tales. It's on Amazon. You can go to the
yeah,
website because we need to sell that. We need to sell that bitch so I can make the next one. So this is not a woe is me thing. And I said I don't want to just do it for the money.
right.
I would like to partner with a charity or something I believe in. So then you're like,
And do it
well,
do it
shit,
for a purpose.
which one?
Yeah,
So
but
then
we
you go
found
through
an
that.
amazing one.
So then you go through that process, and Jason's like, you need to talk, and we're gonna have her on, by the way.
Yes.
I gotta check it with her. Her son is getting married this week, I believe. So I was like, I'm gonna call you Monday after your son's wedding. But he goes, you need to talk to Vicky Speed. She is the CEO and founder of Blue Cancer Connect. And talking to her, I was like, yep, done. All
Yeah.
proceeds from the Street Tales Network apparel line
Yes.
go to Blue Cancer Connect.
Which is what? Explain it a little bit for those who
So,
don't know.
well, see, this is where I really want to have her on. I don't want to speak for her, but because
Just a
she's
quick overview.
so much more, it's so much more than just like, hey, we're gonna get money and give money. She doesn't keep any money. She doesn't make a salary. She goes, I make enough money. My husband. So all right, let me back it up. Vicky Speed, her husband, got cancer. He was a lieutenant and he passed away. And she had such an amazing experience, not the cancer part, but from the support from the law enforcement
Mhm.
department he was with. This is where I'm not trying to talk for her because we're going to have her on.
Right.
So I'll let her tell her story. And they fully support it. They still talk to her to this day, even though he passed away years ago. All these things, like she
Mhm.
was surrounded with support, and she was like, this is how it. She just felt like this is how it should be.
Right.
Then she started hearing stories of people that were like, no, they fired me as soon as they found out. Like all these things, she's like, what? This is
Yeah.
outrageous behavior. Like this is
Right.
crazy. Or this agency doesn't cover cancer, or this agency didn't tell me that I had to work this long. All these little intricacies that
Mhm.
you just sign when you get hired because you're like, oh, no, I'm not
'Cause you're
going to get
excited to
cancer.
have a job.
Yeah, you're just again, the profession is still noble, and it still
Yeah.
takes brave men and women to do it. But the way agencies have turned it into a business is fucked up. It's awful.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, I don't want to steal her thunder because I
Yeah.
talked to her several times, and I'm very excited. She's awesome. Bo, you're gonna
Yeah.
love her 100%.
I'm excited.
100%. So she's like, I want to start a charity, Blue Cancer Connect. So then it's like, oh, does she only give money or does she only do things to support active law enforcement who are diagnosed with cancer or dealing with cancer? Oh, anyone in their family. And then you're like, oh, does she just give money? Is that, that, oh, here's money. And then she filters through. No, this woman is doing, she's going before state legislation. She's doing training. She's doing teaching. She's doing seminars. She's trying to educate law enforcement professionals on their
Right.
rights and the thing and deep dive into their benefits so they know, and if their agency doesn't cover it, what are the options out there for them that are affordable. So she's like
Right.
doing this whole thing,
Yeah.
which I got to be honest, Mo, I've been in this game for 15 years now. Nobody's ever done that. I have a
Nope.
different background. I was
Right.
I sold insurance and all that. I did all these things before my law enforcement career. So
Right.
I do know, and I'm covered. My kids are good, but most people don't,
Most people
and they don't
don't.
think about it. So she makes it very real. She well, what's I don't want to be derogatory. She is a ball of fucking energy. She is a
Yeah.
firebrand. Like, I don't know. When she talks, you're like, you stop and you listen to whatever she's saying because
Yeah.
that's how passionate she is about it.
Yeah.
And so she does all the above. And keep in mind, she's not taking a dime from
Yeah.
the charity, and she never wants to. She never wants it to be that way. Anything that comes in goes right back out. She's doing her best. Like, she can't pay everybody's medical bills because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, but she'll do the best she can. She'll help you get a lawyer. Whatever it is that you need to do, she
Yeah.
is going to try to make it happen. So yeah, I'm all in. Love it.
Yeah. So, but like you said, we did a deep dive on finding out what charity, and based off of having this interaction with her and realizing all these things that she's doing, she is very much mirroring where we want to take the podcast with where we
Yeah.
are being able to hit on a lot of different fronts. Hence the reason we wrote the book, and we're doing these other things. But that was just such a, in my opinion, a phenomenal marriage of the two, with having Street Tales make the apparel and use those proceeds to support something that does all these things just like we want to do. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, keep in mind, we did all this, Mo, and we had 35 subscribers on YouTube. I think we had maybe 100 followers on Instagram. We didn't, I don't even know that we had TikTok up yet
Nope,
because I
we
don't know
didn't.
anything about it. Your awesome sister is helping us grow that, right? But
Yes,
so think about what we just said. We
right.
invested all this time, energy, effort, money, trip to LA, all this stuff. Brass tacks. It costs money. It costs time away from your family, your son, me, everybody, not just us, but BJ, Adam, all these
Yeah,
things going on. Wrote a book, which costs money. You got to publish it, website, all these things. And it was like, because we believe in what we're doing. Since
right.
then, we're now in November. So it's really been 2 months since
Yeah,
the book came out, the website went up, the apparel, all this other stuff. We're now almost to 500 followers on YouTube. We're over 1,000 on Instagram. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like once you start laying the foundation, it's like, oh, it starts growing.
yeah. And that's what we're
But
doing.
it is a leap of faith, Mo, and it's uncomfortable.
It is. It's I told you, it's uncomfortable, but
Yeah,
until the doors are closed, we're gonna just keep walking down this path and seeing where it leads
yeah,
us. And I think that we are coming along, people are coming alongside us to walk this path with us, because
yeah,
that's why when we call people and we're like, "Hey, would you like to be on this little show called Street Tales?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'd like to share," because I think it is us doing something for the right reasons and trying to support some of the right things as well.
yeah. No, 100%. I would like to talk about where we're going
100%. Yes, let's
if
do
you're
it.
ready.
I'm ready.
So, and just in keeping in with the tradition of all the things that we have going on in our personal life and professional life,
Keeping that up.
keeping that up, we've been pretty consistent with publishing or uploading. I don't know what you call it.
Mhm.
Mondays and Thursdays, a new episode. We'll do that as long as we can. Again, keep in mind, these are all guests that we have to coordinate, facilitate, talk through, vet, filter, outline. We have to do all these things, right? So far, so good.
So far, so good.
What I do like about our group though is like if we ever get a lull, we could just talk to each other because
Yeah.
there's so much experience to pull from. But going for now, as of today, right now, twice a week, which is so funny to hear that. It's like, all these people who post or upload every single day. I'm like, good God, bro. Like, well,
Oh,
that might be their full-time job. It's not ours.
yeah,
Not yet.
exactly. Not yet.
To the point of this is why it would be nice to do this full time.
Yeah.
Because we could do this a lot faster. But we're also working on doing a charity fundraiser for Blue Cancer Connect.
Yes.
We're working through it. I'm very
That's
I'm a
exciting.
dreamer. I want to do a West Coast one and an East Coast one. Why not? Just fuck it, let's go. And I remember going, yeah, let's do this. This is great. Hey Mo, I've never done this. What should I be thinking about?
And we
I feel like
talked
there's a
through
lot
it.
of Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things I don't know that I need to know, and she's like, yeah, there's a lot to it, but hopefully we've got full support from Jeff Greenberg and Tina Morris at the Village
Mhm.
Studios to do one there next year
Yeah,
at the Village Studios. That's gonna be amazing in
amazing.
LA.
Yeah.
And then working with Vic again, connection through Adam, who Vic has also co-hosted. I don't want to leave him out.
Mhm.
Again, it's just timing, and people have day jobs, so
Yeah.
I don't want to put. That's the thing. There's so many people. I'm like, dude, you'd be an amazing podcaster. He's like, bro, I work 12 hours a day. I give you the time that I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means which means a lot to me.
100%.
But through that, we're gonna do one on the East Coast too. And I'm like, and I'm trying to restrain myself and say, all right, let's just try to do two.
Yes, that is what we're gonna do.
I was like, and I'll be happy if we can knock out one, but I am like, I really think we could do two. And again, this isn't raising money for us, it's raising money for Blue Cancer
But
Connect.
it's
So that's where
partnering
I'm
with
trying to be a
the
better
right
business
people.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's this is part of the business
It's
is
my
like
heart though.
being
It's where I'm at.
a good business person means partnering with the right people and helping where you can. Like, no, we're not $1 million company yet, but this is something we can absolutely execute at a level of excellence, I believe. And I think that it would, in the long run, it really does benefit us because those people who get the benefit of Blue Cancer Connect are going to get to know that Street Tales went alongside them to make sure that they were taken care of. That's the
Yeah.
reality.
That's just where I'm at, man.
I love it.
It's just what I want to do. I'm happy I can do it. I'm in a place now where I can do it. So
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if I told you this, Mo, or if you
Hmm.
remember, because I every now and again it pops up on 15, and I have to check BJ. So I was like, "You do know how I was raised in like a trailer park, bro? Like I ate rice 3 meals a day." He's like, "Bro, I always forget that shit." I was like, "Yeah, bro. Like, no, I fucking had to do this."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and that's where you don't wanna lose that piece of you. You don't wanna forget the fact that you did those things, and so
Oh, I
this is
don't.
now you're getting to a place where you can do things like this, and it's like,
Yeah.
to me, this is the stuff that makes your heart happy. Where I said, like, at the
Yeah.
beginning, this is our podcast is very therapeutic at times. These are the things that the podcast can do that is gonna make our heart smile, you know? So, I'm excited for the next year. We've talked through our plan for the next 3 years. We have it on paper for the next 5, but I think
Yep.
the next year of really wanting to push out these episodes, connect with
Mhm.
people, continue to get really good guests and to share people's stories, and then on top of it, help through partnering with charities like Blue Cancer Connect. I mean,
Yeah.
ideally, we'd like to grow where we were probably partnered with more charities, but right now, they're the one that's are really in line, I think, with what it is we're trying to do.
100%. And I know I have talked to you about this offline, not on the podcast, but I've talked to you. I'm like, Mo, I still get nervous talking to what I would deem highly successful people or wealthy people or um, high level in the sense that, chiefs or sheriffs or
Oh, yeah.
CEOs or whatever. I'm like, who am I to talk to this person? You know what I mean? Like it still creeps in. I'm
Oh, yeah.
still that little trailer park boy with a rat tail running around in cut off jean shorts. You know what I'm
It's the
saying? Like it's still
imposter
in there.
the
It is.
imposter behavior that sometimes gets at us, but,
Yeah.
the beauty is I think that's what exactly qualifies us to be here talking to people because we did not
Yeah.
live the life that sometimes people do live that leads
Yeah.
them down this path. I think we lived real lives that real people can see themselves in. You can see, like, it was funny because I was talking to my mom about something and we were where I grew up came up, and in the conversation, she told me we lived in, like, a 900 square foot house, and we had a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 900 square foot house, and I'm like, "Wait, our house was that size? Gee,"
Damn.
but yeah, like, you don't know. But I think that people can see themselves there, and then they can see that they have a path or a dream or like you said, you're a dreamer, but they have the ability to still dream further than they thought they could go. Because this even though we both had very differing paths to lead us to being cops, we
Yeah.
became cops. We both subsequently left the careers, and here we are doing something that we probably I can tell you I never imagined me doing.
No. Matter of fact, I have Mike Morgan's episode will be released in a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
he makes me laugh though because he's also has a wildly successful podcast and platform, but he's in his 50s. 30 he did a 30-year career in law enforcement, and he's like he got the passion to do it, and he had advice, and they're like You got to start social media. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to be take your shirt off, wear tank tops, do all these things. He's like, bro, I feel like a douchebag. I don't want to do that. Like, that's not me. But again, he humbled himself, took advice. And again, it's not just about that. It's just showing your
Yeah.
humility and also that you're genuine. As
Yeah.
long as it comes across, this is the other part, not just coming across genuine, but hopefully, Mo, we maintain that we're just always genuine. I think that I will be. As soon as
Yeah.
I start to get off that rail, I don't think I want to do this anymore
I will
because I
tell
am
you.
interested. I truly am interested in
Yeah.
people and I learn so much shit.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It makes me think. And I've gotten better at controlling my inner thoughts and keeping them in there because, I tend to
We
just
have
blurt them
gotten
out.
better.
I've gotten a little better. I'm working on it still, but always being genuine. But again, I've talked to people about this. Like we're cops. Like we don't talk about our fucking private life
No.
unless I know you. You don't know me. I assure you, you never
I
did.
no.
Because I that's just I that I don't trust. I don't know
It's
what
what
I don't know what the reasoning by is. Yeah, it's
it's
like
what
no, fuck
protects
that.
us.
Yeah,
It
and
was
so
what
now it's like
protected us for years.
yeah. So now I'm recording myself. I'm exposing my thoughts and my feelings and my faults and my mistakes. I do my best. I do leave some stuff that, it's private. I'm not going to uncover or embarrass somebody that I know. I try very hard not to do that.
Right.
Cuz I am far from perfect. I'm working on
Yeah.
it always. Anywho, so I never want to come off that way. And you're doing this on camera for everybody
Yeah.
to listen to.
Woo, it's
Yeah, I know it's like,
yeah,
oh,
I know. It's rough, man. I get
yeah.
it. But I think that's what lends to the fact that people do see that we're genuine. They see that we do lay out some of our faults. We do lay out some of the things that we've done that weren't right and our mistakes. And
Yeah.
we've talked through even our career mistakes, our professional mistakes, the things that we did great and the things that we did not so great, and
Yeah.
the
A lot of those.
the things lot of things there that lands us there. So I think that's where our genuine side of us comes out, and I think that's also what encourages people to want to come out and talk to us. Don't and I think it translates into us genuinely being interested in people's stories, not just for the, "Oh, I wanna gossip about it. I wanna know
Yeah,
all
no.
your," but it's about, "Tell me your path," and then the again, we focus on your after. What'd you do after? How did you bounce
Yeah.
back? How did you when you hit that rock bottom, how did you trampoline up? Because all of these people that we have talked to have trampolined back up in some way, shape, or form, and that's what we're sharing, and that's more of our we wanna know your story, but that's our focus, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. And again, like, I just wanna reiterate, not every story is filled with that type of
No.
content. Some of them are just, the George Creamer, he grew up in Wyoming hunting, fishing, and was like, "I'm gonna go to LA and I'm gonna be a cop," it just and his career just kinda took off, so it doesn't have to be stories of woe and loss or anything like that. Some people
No.
it just as long as it's genuine and honest, tell your story, like, it's okay. I will say
Yeah.
some people have shared some wild shit on this show
Yes.
that yeah, again, it's like the fact that you're still here talking to me, bro, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
We've had
I'm
some
also Lisa Plum.
yeah,
Oh my god,
humbled
bro.
humbled by her
I
sharing her
said
story
that's
with
some
us.
of her stuff that it hits me. I'll be walking around during the day and I'll be like, God damn, bro, I don't know how. And not only is she, I don't know, I don't know the words to describe, but
Yeah,
I'll
we
just do
talked
my
about that
best.
on the show. We didn't know what to say, but
Yeah,
she puts it into words. Like,
yeah,
just humbled by having people come in and just share with us, and I just think that over the next year, we wanna continue to have people, and I think, like you said, not just law enforcement, not just military, just people who have a story that they wanna share, and
yeah,
they think could help, or they think that this is where I grew into, like you said, this guy, you don't have to have horrific things to happen, but I went down this path and this is where it led me. Sharing
yeah,
their life story is what it really boils down to. They're sharing their life or a portion of their life story with us and getting, I'd love to get an attorney. I think I would love to talk to we're finally towards the end of the year, we're starting to get more of these spouses
yeah,
to individuals that come on and talk, and every single one of them have blown us away with their not their story that goes around their spouse, their own personal stories have just been
yeah.
mind-blowing, you
Yeah,
know?
their insight, their perspective of what was going on.
Yeah.
And again, not always bad, right? It doesn't always have to be bad things. And again, I'm just kinda reminded of Veronica's story where she was
Veronica.
so amazing. She felt like she didn't have anything to say, but when
Right.
a couple things she just dropped some nuggets and some bombs, and she was like, "I wanted to be his wife and the mother of his babies, and I was gonna support his career," and
Yeah.
that's
That was it.
yeah, that was it. Like, I have nothing else to say, and I'm like, "That's amazing
That's
how you would
amazing, and
say that."
somebody needed to hear that, and
Yeah,
that's the thing, it's like, I think in the next year, we're gonna continue to grow with more guests like that because people are gonna feel more comfortable coming to our platform and sharing with us. I can tell you, like, as far as I've seen, even commentary that we're receiving, it's all been positive. People are really leaning into the conversation, so I
yeah,
think that we're gonna continue to pull some really good guests, some interesting people. We have, like I said, several on the books already that are gonna be very interesting, have great stories, are just
yeah,
from all walks of life, and like I said, people you wouldn't expect to see on this little show, but I think they're showing up because we are the way that we are handling it
yeah.
is just, I think, in a professional manner.
No, for sure. And listen, I would be fascinated with the male spouse perspective of someone who's a civilian whose wife is in. I keep saying law enforcement, military, firefighter, whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's got to be unique too, man.
that's
And
super
I
unique. I
have my
would
own
love to.
assumptions in my head of what that must feel like, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just always interested. Yeah,
yeah. Lots of
yeah,
lots of very unique situations that we could have people just come and just share. That's the
yeah.
thing. So,
And I think let me also just throw this out there because this isn't ever on the podcast, but after every time we record, especially if it's something a little intimate or, personal, we always ask and have, do you want to listen to this before we release it? And we have yeses and nos. And I mean, BJ, we talked about that. He talked about the shooting he was in. We sat on it for a week. I think maybe a little more than that. He was like,
yeah,
all right, I'm good with it. Because listen, if that's what it has to be, it is. I never want to embarrass anybody or
no,
make them feel like we misrepresented. I never want that. I just I won't release it. It'll
yeah,
go away. So I really I think that's a hesitancy for people to come on the show. It's like you
yeah,
can come on here. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often where it doesn't get released because that's a lot of time,
right.
energy, and
It's a
effort.
lot of time.
But with that being said, if it's like I'm just not ready, fine.
Then
I never
we
wanna do
don't.
that to somebody, man. There's
No,
no
we would
gotcha
never.
question, no, there's none of that shit, man.
No,
Never will be. Also, we don't talk about politics on the show.
we
That's
do
not a
not.
thing I wanna do. I
No,
do
we're
not
not
wanna
doing
do
that.
that.
Do
No.
not, because I think that what we offer is very different. So the platform that we're offering is a very different platform.
Yeah. Listen,
So
there's a ton of political shows. You can go on
there are.
those. Let's see what else. There's, one thing that Adam liked and a lot of his buddies that he's have on that were in the military, combat veterans who've taken lives and had buddies of theirs die and stuff. Adam, because I'm very serious about this too for military folks, especially in combat or whatever capacity. If you don't, we're not here to talk about that. It's like, oh, yo, tell
No,
me what it was like to kill a guy. No, we're not.
no,
We're not doing any of that. We can talk through it if you wish, but like that's not. There's other shows for that too, right? There's a lot of military shows. They talk about guns and ammo and armor. And listen, I listen to them. I
of
do.
course. I
I
do.
want to be different. Yeah, 100% I do. I love
Yeah,
watching that shit and hearing about guns and stuff, or the crime podcasts where they talk about the things they've done. Anywho,
right.
that's not the purpose of this show. And
No.
there's, like I said, there's a bunch of those shows out there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that.
Yeah. I think what we're doing is good, and I think that where we're gonna go in the next year, and like I said, we've talked through the 3-year and written down the 5-year. I think where we're going is phenomenal. And I think looking at who we're trying to partner with, how we're trying to partner, how we're
Yeah,
trying to be, in my opinion, an ethical podcast that is looking to help people, looking to
yeah,
share people's stories, looking to support people, and looking to partner with companies and other people out in the community that are looking to do the same thing is
yeah.
amazing.
No, for sure. I guess this is our pitch to future guests or people who are interested
Yes.
in being on the podcast. There's no gotcha. There's definitely no judgment. I got
No.
nothing. I am not in a position to judge anybody. But also, we want to give you a fair shot to say your piece.
Yeah.
Even if we don't agree with it,
Even
which
if we don't.
we've had some of that on the show where it's like, okay, all right, we'll just keep it moving
Yeah. And we don't
because that's
have
the
to
point. I'm
agree.
not interrogating you.
No, we're not interrogating you. We just want your
Yeah,
story. We wanna
yeah,
have give I say want your story. We want you to have an opportunity to tell your story. And with that, we're gonna ask questions. We might inquire about different things, but we're not trying to trip you up, catch you up, put you in a bad spot, and that's the reason why we do say, "Listen to it, and if you are comfortable, then we put it out," and so far, so good.
So far, so good. We've had, and listen, we do edit because sometimes people will name somebody or misremember something. But once again, it's your story, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm not asking for the receipts and let me see the reports and none of that,
No,
man. It's not
no,
that's not
no.
yeah.
I would say
I'm excited, Mo.
also, it's exciting. I would say I you wanna if you wanna have an experience to read something that's unique and different, go on Amazon, order our Street Tales book, volume 1, and read it feverishly and wait for volume 2, but we're focusing on the Sergeant Major's book first, and then there will be other ones, but I think go on, read it. It is such a unique experience to
Yeah,
read through and be able to, like you said, scan the QR code and hear that person's voice, hear the story being told with their inflection and their tones and their feeling that goes along with it.
yeah,
So definitely do that. And then don't forget our apparel. We'll be dropping all the links for this when we release it, but go
yeah,
on, look at the apparel. A lot of it's really nice. And it goes, again, the support, it goes to support a really, really amazing
yeah.
charity that we did a lot of research to try to make sure that it was going to be something that was valuable to people.
Yeah, and just to touch on the apparel side, well, two things. Touch on the book. The book does not have everything. It's edited, so it's not.
Yes.
The book is edited, so there are stories and things that are not in the book. I'm reminded of Monte's portion. I was
Love
like, I don't think I
it.
have that. I don't think I have that in there. But if you go to the podcast, you get the whole thing.
You get it.
You will immediately know what I'm referring to when you hear it. But again, I gotta have Monte back on too because he was audio only. I would love for you and me to do interview Monte. Oh my
Love
god,
it.
I love that man. Anyway, he's got a great story. The apparel, once again, I do this to the best of my ability. We're with our sponsor, Blackout Coffee, which again, I was super excited when they're like, yeah, absolutely, we want to sponsor you. And then I immediately ordered all their shit because I was like, well, gotta make sure it's good. And I didn't realize that I had actually already been drinking it because
Oh,
it's in a lot of military and law enforcement places already buy Blackout Coffee. And so when I saw it, I
nice.
was like, oh, I have this. I've had this.
Mm,
But one, we will test it before I ever promote it. One,
100%.
it's phenomenal. They have tea. I'm now enjoying the hot chocolate because it's
The
cold
tea
now.
is delicious, by the way.
There we go.
Loose leaf.
Their apparel made me want to make sure our apparel,
Right.
their merch, I don't know what you call it for them, but
Yeah.
that's why I wanted our stuff to be good. And I bought every item that we have on the Street Tales Network. I've tested it because I wanted to see what it looked like, see what it felt like, see how it fit. Once again, terrible business person. I did not wear anything for this show because it's in the wash machine, but it is what it is. But the hoodie, all of it is good. The polos, I wear them. I've actually got guys in my office now because they like the way it fits and looks. It,
Nice.
because of the logo, it looks like a law enforcement shirt.
Looks like a law enforcement shirt.
And then you read it, it's like, "Oh, Street Tales now. Oh, okay."
Yeah. I love it.
But it looks good, it's professional, and once
Yeah.
again, you can donate direct to I'll add these links, but who
Absolutely.
cares? You can just straight up donate to them. Again, I'm not the purpose is to support them, but this
Yes.
is another way where Mo, tell me you get something for your donation, I guess?
Yes, you do. You get something
See what I'm
tangible for
saying?
your donation. You
Yeah,
can go direct to them and donate, but this is
100%.
something where you have something tangible that you can keep, but knowing that you are supporting a really, really good cause.
Yeah, the truth is, and I told Vicky this on the phone, and I'm excited to have her on the podcast at some point, hopefully before the holidays. She's
Yes.
very busy. But I
Yes.
said, as we grow, so will Blue Can, because that's just
Yeah.
when Mo, you know me. When I'm locked in, this is what it is. Until you give
This
me
is
a
what it
reason
is.
to not do that, unless some
100.
shit happens that I didn't know, I'm like, as devoted and loyal as I'll be, you wrong it, it'll be like it never
It's
existed.
over. It's over.
Yeah, with all things, sponsors, anything we do, if that
Anything.
something comes out, I will address it and we'll move on, and it'll never have like it never
Gone.
existed.
Yep. So
Yeah,
this was a good one.
Mo, I love
I'm glad
this.
we
This
talked
is
through
great.
it. Yeah. I'm glad we
I
did.
think I don't know why this felt therapeutic because we're just I guess it's just acknowledging the amount of work and effort that has taken us to get to this point. And
Mhm.
I know we talk offline. So for people who are listening, Mo's with me for the highs and the lows, where I'm like, Mo, I don't know. I don't think this is working. It's not, I don't know. And then also, Mo, oh my God, can you believe who we just got on the show? It's so amazing.
It's all good. I love it.
I mean, even with the book, I was like, Mo, I don't know.
I don't
There's nothing
know
out on the market like this. There might be a reason. It might be because it
because
sucks. I
it's
don't know.
unique.
Shit. So
It's awesome.
Mo gets the ride behind the scenes of all the
I
highs
love
and
it.
lows.
I love it. I love all of it. So
Awesome. All right, Mo. I'm
awesome.
glad we did this.
Yes, me too.